There is a kind of woman whose mystery is not accidental. She is not merely hiding, she is the mask, and the mask has become her face. You meet her, and it feels like a story half-old. She is beautiful, but the beauty is veiled in something deeper, a dissonance, a silence, a shimmer that cannot be trusted. She is deceptive, but not in the way you think. Her deception is a mirror, not a lie. It does not emerge from malice, but from the unconscious dance between who she is and what you choose to see. She does not invent illusions. You bring them with you. You arrive with hopes, wounds, and fantasies you have not dared to name, and she, with quiet precision, reflects them back in a form so seductive that you mistake the reflection for reality. You call her manipulative, but she merely plays the role your psyche asked her to play. The illusion was authored not solely by her, but by your longing to be seen, touched, completed. Her presence becomes a canvas for your unmet desires, and in her silence, your own voice echoes back. She is not dishonest, she is symbolic. She wears the cloak of your projections like a second skin. When she withdraws, when the illusion shatters, it feels like betrayal. But what truly breaks is the dream you had wrapped around her. You didn't see her. You saw a piece of yourself dressed in the mystery of her form. Her deception, then, is not a trick. It is the invitation to awaken. It is the unveiling of the hidden scripts you have been living under, the ones written long ago in the shadows of your unloved parts. She deceives only in the sense that you are not ready to see, and in that dissonance, in that rupture, a great mirror is placed before you, not to show her falsehood, but your own unexamined truth. She wears the mask you refuse to acknowledge. Not because she is false, but because the world has demanded her to become something survivable, something desirable, something safe. Yet beneath the graceful curves of her smile, beneath the carefully chosen words, lives a depth too wild to be accepted, too raw to be shown. And so she hides not out of cowardice, but out of necessity. The mask she wears is not hers alone. It is the inheritance of centuries, shaped by the silent rules of how a woman should appear, how she must soften her truth to be loved, how she must shrink her fire to make others comfortable. But more than that, the mask she wears is the one you have disowned, the parts of yourself you cannot face, the cunning, the rage, the hunger, the grief. She carries those for you silently, and when she reveals them even just a flicker, it unsettles something ancient inside. She becomes the villain in your story, not because she is evil, but because she refuses to stay within the lines you've drawn. She dares to hold both sweetness and shadow, desire and independence, mystery and power. She wears your disowned parts like a crown, unapologetically, though she may not show it. The deception, then, is not her performance, but your blindness. You accuse her of being masked, but you were the one who demanded the disguise. You wanted her soft, so she hid her storm. You wanted her obedient, so she silenced her roar. And now, when her true face flickers through burning with the fire of everything you tried to suppress, it feels like betrayal. But it's not betrayal, it's revelation. She is not the illusion. She is the embodiment of everything you've denied. The mask she wears is a reflection of your expectations, your fears, your fantasies. And in her defiance, in her refusal to remain flat and pleasing, she becomes more real than you can bear. Her seduction is the soul's test, not of lust, but of vision. She does not tempt you with mere beauty. She awakens something far more dangerous, your hunger for what is missing in yourself. She becomes the flame that draws out your longing, not to destroy you, but to illuminate the inner emptiness you have masked with pride, distraction, or control. She is not the final reward, she is the trial. And many do not realize this until they have already fallen. What she offers is not love, but a symbol, a chance to face the disorientation that comes when your carefully constructed self is undone. In her eyes, you do not just see her, you see the part of yourself that has been waiting in the dark, yearning to be remembered. That is why her presence feels overwhelming. She seems to know something you've forgotten. She holds a key to a door within you that you didn't even realize was locked. You ache not just for her, but for the forgotten self she awakens. But beware, this seduction does not promise wholeness unless you are willing to endure the fire it brings. It is a soul's alchemy disguised as desire. To chase her blindly is to repeat an ancient cycle of projection, idealization, and collapse. She is not here to complete you. She is here to show you that no one else can. Her allure is the summons, the spark. The real work begins when you realize that the ecstasy she stirs cannot be fulfilled by her body, her voice, or her touch. It can only be fulfilled by turning inward and facing the absence within you. Those who pass the test do not possess her, they transcend the need to. They recognize that her seduction was never truly about her. It was the soul's trap and gift, a chance to awaken from the illusion that love is found in another, when in truth, it begins in the reclamation of your own lost fire. She is the soul's test because she leads you to the edge of yourself, and asks not with words but with silence, will you leap into the unknown, or retreat into the familiar? She is not the enemy, she is the symbol. To mistake her for the source of your suffering is to remain blind to the deeper architecture of your own psyche. She is not the wound, she is the one who reveals it, not the destroyer of peace, but the mirror in which your unhealed stories come into view. Her presence disturbs not because she intends harm, but because she unconsciously activates what lies dormant. Your longing, your shame, your unresolved grief, your hunger for something sacred in a world that has gone hollow. And when those buried energies rise to the surface, it is easier to blame her than to face yourself. You call her deceptive, dangerous, manipulative, but what you fear is not her, it is what she reflects. She is the symbol of the forgotten feminine, the untamed force, the dark beauty who cannot be domesticated or confined. She wears the chaos you repress. She walks with the freedom you deny yourself. She embodies the mystery you've tried to explain away with logic and control. Her fire is not aimed at you. It simply burns in the places where you have built walls instead of altars. If you are wise, you will not make her into an enemy. You will sit with the discomfort she stirs. You will ask why her silence unsettles you, why her gaze feels like judgment, why her refusal to submit makes your voice tremble. These are not signs of her threat. They are signs of your initiation. She has come not to conquer, but to awaken. To open a doorway into your forgotten self. She is the dream that will not be explained, the ache that will not go away, the whisper in the night that calls you deeper, not into her, but into the undiscovered terrain of your own soul. She is not asking you to follow her. She is asking you to remember yourself, for she is not a person alone. She is a symbol of everything you have buried in the name of being acceptable, strong, rational, safe. To fear her is to fear your own wholeness, but to see through her, to see her as a living symbol, is to reclaim the parts of you that were once too wild, too emotional, too honest to be allowed. She is not the enemy. She is the portal, and when you stop fighting the symbol and start interpreting it, you step into the myth of your own transformation.